Warning, this video is intended for adult collectors. It contains plastic collectibles, questionable opinions, and someone who owns way too many plastic robots. It's too late. Random review is about to begin.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel for day 1302 of our daily content grind. It's review time again. We might do one or two of these reviews on the weekends, just kind of make this a thing. I haven't quite decided yet. However, my local stores are starting to get some of the new product, as we saw last week with the new Generations stuff from Age of the Primes. Well, now I'm starting to see some Studio Series popping up. So I'm going to talk about the new A-level Optimus Prime based on Transformers Devastation, because I feel like this is going to be a very divisive figure in more ways than one, so I figure as many opinions out there as possible on this toy is going to be nothing but a good thing, okay? So let us pick it up and give it a quick glance around, and you can see the main issue people are going to take with this toy, it is not the cleanest or most solid looking of Optimus Prime vehicle modes. It just there's no getting around this. There's no sugarcoating it. It's just not. Yeah. So the cab section's cast in a really vibrant red. Very nice to see. The blue is very nice as well. All that's molded. The gray is mostly molded, which is nice to see. Let us focus on some of the nice things here. So, for instance, all the wheels are pinned, which is actually kind of rare. Good to see that they went that way. And all the rims are painted as well, so I like that. Sculpting is a little lackluster. Like on the side, you can see like where the side windows are, but it's kind of dependent on the hinge of the chest here, actually like creating the edge of it. So like everything else just kind of feels smooth. You can see like a gap here, like there's like a little indent where like the striping should go here. The striping is not here, and they can't really paint that stripe because they push it to the arm. It's off level. So that's probably not going to be happening if they go to repaint this mold. You know they will eventually. If we look on the top here, well, we have weapon storage. So let me take this like broken Dorito off really quick. So you'll find it slots in on that tab right there. And get a little bit of a cleaner look at it now. On the rear, he's got the feet thing. You know, I did that as a joke video for April Fool's last year, but I'm not wrong. Primes have a really big problem hiding their feet, and it gets frustrating. Like, I don't see why this couldn't have just, like, folded down to enclose a little bit more and pass for the rear of the vehicle. There is sculpting in the back, though. So the tail lights are sculpted in, and I guess that sculpting hinges on the sides, or maybe that's enough semblance of like where the license plate would be. It's the right shape. I'll give it that. Oh, also, head. It's there. It's right there. There's no panel. There's no nothing to hide Optimus Prime's head. If you forget to rotate the head during transformation, it's hilarious because he's just staring out the back upside down like a horror movie. We do get a little bit of deco across the toy. The little tail light. Oh, I guess not tail lights, but like you can see, like the turn signal lights are actually painted here on the bumper. A little bit more gray here for the headlights, and then of course, anime tampography and paint in order to get the gloss on the windows look correct. Autobot symbol tampographed on the side. Sculpting also does include the water tanks on the side of the vehicle, but also yeah, that's just his thighs. It's just his thighs. Yeah, and then yeah, he's got a bunch of little gaps here in the front. Yeah, so the vehicle mode, let's be honest, it's not great. The vehicle mode is not great. It's really just there because he's a Transformer. He needs to have a vehicle mode. And we will fully acknowledge that. That wasn't the intention of the toy. We'll get to it in the robot mode. However, there is one caveat. There is one bright side to this. And just so happens, I happened to get the toy traded in at the shop recently, so I can actually demonstrate this for you. The trailer hitch fits the Earthrise trailer. So if you have that mold still lying around, Optimus Prime can actually connect to it. And you know what? It actually scales better to him than it does the Optimus Prime it came with. So take that for what you will. It is a funny coincidence, but but looking at the trailer hitch there, yeah, it's absolutely intentional that those two can actually like get along. And just for the sake of it, here's the 86. I'll put that in there. Weirdly enough, the 86 trailer, all four tires are touching. I can see them rolling. So, okay, this is compatible with either of your Prime trailers. That's super weird. But you know what? Okay, I'll accept it. I'll accept it. It's all just fun. We're having fun with toys. Go figure. Okay. We need to transform him, and I'm going to start by unclipping these and pushing them out here, because we need to free up the legs. Now, this is one of those Optimus Primes where you're going to transform it in two parts. So I'm going to lower the legs down. We're going to do the legs first. So for those, I'm going to rotate these sections like so. So the wheels end up going toward the front side of the leg. Once they are in there, the trailer hitch is going to fold in both halves. And make sure that this is lined up properly, because the halves of the trailer hitch are going to form like the locking mechanisms to keep all this in place. With that, I'm going to open up the feet, and we're going to bring down these panels to make the solid gray sections on the sides of the legs. Okay, lower half done. Let's go to the upper half now. So I'm going to disconnect the front end here, the bumper, so I can get the arms out. And with that done, rotate them around like so. Bring out the shoulders. This is going to feel very familiar if you've played with any G1 Optimus Prime. Fists fold out like so. We need to return to the back side, where the midsection right here is going to fold all the way around and form up to the front like this. The grill needs to be at this angle because these tabs are going to fit into the slots on the side pieces, just like that. With that out of the way, you can fold up the wheels to take the space that those side pieces filled up, and then rotate Optimus Prime's head up, and then rotate it around, and that is your transformation. So, it's actually a fairly decent rendition of Optimus Prime's transformation. There's a couple modern tricks in there, but I guess when you're not trying to get like dead accurate vehicle mode out of Optimus Prime, I guess you have the room to play around a little bit, and I guess that's kind of what they did for the toy itself. But once we have it in robot mode, okay, now I can kind of see what the priority was on. For a deluxe-sized toy, this is the closest we've ever seen to animation-accurate Optimus Prime. Like, this is pretty well accomplished. Like, I'm not going to like harp on the vehicle mode too much more at this point, because very clearly this was the intention. Get the robot mode to look as sleek and clean as possible. And yes, because of the coloring, and it does actually resemble the Devastation character model more, but it is also just a really clean deluxe Optimus Prime that has a very strong resemblance to his cartoon appearance and the familiar shape and form you expect for the character. He's one of those Optimus Prime toys with a much softer head sculpt. He's got more rounded edges to him. It's not quite as sharp. And that is, again, pushing more to the cartoon accuracy, which thus pushes more toward the Devastation accuracy. I don't mind it so much. I know some people get super picky with their Optimus Prime head sculpts, but I just tend to like him if he gets close enough to how I expect him to look. And this one I think is fine. This one is fine. This one, like, hits the nostalgia itch in my brain that remembers how he looks in the original cartoon. Though I guess I should be trying to remember the video game, shouldn't I? So, quick comparison here. I'm going to put him next to a Studio Series 1 Megatron. You can see, okay, very comparable in size, comparable in mass. So, you're getting what you normally get out of a standard size deluxe here. So, there you have that to gauge it on. Also, yeah, there's not a lot of backpack to the toy. In fact, the upper part is kind of accurate to Optimus Prime in any case. However, you are going to see, like, he's got a bumper butt and he has tires in his lower back. So that is a little bit distracting, and that will hinder the articulation a little bit. And I'll show you that once we get into such things. So yeah, like, he is designed to be just really nice and solid looking as robot mode, and that's perfectly fine. If I show you the articulation, you'll see more of that. He's got a little bit of up and down to the head, but not enough to really be useful. It's mostly just a 360-degree turn. The shoulders are fantastic on this piece. So you are getting, the upper and the forward. That is the double hinge type that I really don't like, because it's not pure. It's not like true universal motion. It's done mostly just because, like, the engineering isn't going to allow it, or just to kind of keep the solid look here. But you also have a butterfly effect to the shoulders. And that doesn't just mean, like, part of the transformation. I mean, they go forward a little bit as well. And that does increase the range a lot. So he can still pose pretty well, despite having the weird, like, quasi-universal shoulders I generally don't like. 360-degree biceps. We have a 90-degree elbow. Elbow bend. Nothing in the wrist. The waist rotation stops about there because of the kibble in his lower back, which is not quite as much as I like. Now, obviously, I can, like, fold down, I can fold down the wheels and get all 360 degrees of rotation, but then I've got wheels hanging out the side of his butt, which is not the best look. You've got universal hips. Those work just fine. You see the thigh rotation just above the knee. Works all, well, it doesn't, works all the way around. Gets a little bit stiff on parts because it's, mushroom pegged. Also, yes, just for those who like to keep track of hollow parts, it's the top of his forearm and it's the thigh. That's your hollow. And then if we go down to the legs, 90-degree bend there, and then ankle tilt. So, great range of motion. The shoulders, like, I wish were done a little bit differently, but he's doing what he's supposed to do. And the whole intention of the toy is just accurate to the game/cartoon, high articulation, clean looking robot mode. It's accomplishing all of that, and then being able to transform is almost a side product of the toy. I equate it, and I made this observation to someone without realizing that this is kind of a common observation. It very much feels like a modern take on Classics Deluxe Optimus Prime, who was fine as an action figure for 2006, but the vehicle mode was super rough. And I kind of get the feeling that this is, the modern take on that. It does have that kind of vibe to it, which is unfortunate, but it is far better done. Let's not mix that up here. So, we can give him his axe weapon, and I believe it looks better in his left hand than it does his right. Doesn't matter. It's up to you which side it goes on. But yeah, I'm not sure why they actually baked in the swing effect to it. Now, it does give him, like, some actual, like, motion to his poses. It's like, I will give it that. So, like, it actually gives you, like, a little bit of energy to what he's doing. But it does feel a little bit awkward, I can't just, like, place him with his axe, because his axe looks like it's going Super Saiyan. So it only works when you're in action poses. So, a little bit limiting there. I'm not a fan of that. Also, you'll notice, very, very rare, an Optimus Prime does not come with his gun. And that's because it's Devastation Optimus Prime, who rarely broke out the ion cannon. So, we do get the axe that he mostly used for his combos. But we do have one more accessory, because inside the chest, we do have a Matrix of Leadership, unpainted, very tiny. At least it's not the same mold they've been using, forever at this point. So, take that out. It's 5mm pegged in the chest, which does remind me. You can also these also come as separate parts. It's 3mm pegged in, so you can't really use that for anything. But I think it's mostly just a safety feature, so it's there just in case you want it, and maybe you can figure out something to do with it. But back to the point. So we have this tiny little Matrix of Leadership, and you'll notice no 5mm pegs to hold on to it. However, this Prime does have a trick. So we are actually going to slot this in using the gaps in the fists for the shape of the fingers. So if I put it in here and let's see if I can actually make this connection, because he can make it, but it is tight here. Okay, can I get it all the way? Oh, come on. Oof. And there we go. He can actually hold the Matrix outward. It is a little bit awkward, because he is just like fully presenting it as if holding out something for show and tell. Or I guess, if he's like using it for an attack or something. But yeah, he can't actually use the Matrix. He can't actually hold it, which is a step up from a lot of the Matrix accessories. I'll give it that. So that is going to be your Devastation Optimus Prime, the new A-level figure that you're going to be seeing for the better part of the year. It is very much an Optimus Prime figure that is very good for your desk. I feel like this is, light years ahead of like what was being offered with Transformers Red. Get it as a nice desk piece. Get it as a nice representation of Optimus Prime that doesn't take up too much space on your shelf or your desk. And then just kind of ignore the vehicle mode if you want, because frankly, it's not going to get you very far. It's just nice that it can transform should you want to transform it. And it's not a bad transformation. It just ain't worth the journey, So that's my take on the toy. If this is like any of the other A-levels, maybe wait for it to go on sale. But I like it well enough. We'll see how it scales to Devastators. Then I will know how much I really like it. But that's what I got for you today. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.
Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.